Alright, hello everyone. So today I'm gonna be doing a game review. Yep, that's right. I'm gonna be doing a game review. So this is my first game review. Haven't done one before. Kind of new to this thing, so take it easy on me. I haven't really planned this out. Just kind of jump right in and see what we got here. So, of course, as you can see, I'm gonna be reviewing Final Fantasy 15 on the PS4. Now, first of all, I'm just gonna go ahead and say that I love this game. Okay, so this game, I played it for the first time, and I was like, wow, the music, the uh, the everything, the music, the characters, the story. The first playthrough of the game for me was definitely the best part. Now, of course, this game does have some flaws, like every game does, but we'll get to that in a second. Like, this is really there's only a few gripes I have about this game, and this is one of them, is the really long ass loading screens. It's like, come on, guys, it's PS4. Like, I know it's a big open world, but I mean, you got Skyrim Special Edition that's like probably as big of a world, if not bigger. I'm not sure exactly, but it has really fast loading screens in that game. So I mean, like I just expected a little bit faster loading screens from this game, but it's not a big deal. Just small little things there. It's definitely worth the wait on the loading screen to get into the game because the graphics and everything are amazing, which probably takes into account why there's extensive loading screens because of the graphics. But so if I've already beaten the game, I'm gonna go ahead and put in the video title that this review might contain a couple spoilers here and there. So if you haven't finished the game, at least the vanilla original story, then probably go ahead and just click out of this video right now until you have. But yeah, so with that out of the way, we are in the game, and this is what it looks like. It's perfect that I'm kind of outside right now. It's daytime because you can see all the beautiful, beautiful trees and the beautiful sky. It's amazing. Also the sun, yeah, that's really nice looking. Let's go over there and take a look really quick. It's very like blinding actually, like as if you were like looking at it in real life. So I think that's really nice. The graphics in this game for sure. Let's take a look at some of the characters. So if we walk up to this tree so we can kind of get that camera angle a little bit there. That's not really working out, but you can see a little right there. Very nice character models. See if I can get a look at Prompto or someone here. Come on, buddy, stop walking away from me. Let's see if I can show you the photographs. Be really cool too. Ah, yes, it's in archives. So I have a lot of photos from this game. Those particles right there. Scenery right here. You can see like all the little details like on the shadows. The shadows are really good. Shadow textures. Some more little like warpy particles right there. You got really nice lighting in this photograph as well. Yeah, again, like with the lighting and the textures, really, really nice looking game for sure. So I'm gonna kind of break this review down into like certain sections. So right there was just kind of like the graphical section. Obviously, that's not everything to show in the game, but that's kind of a little bit there. Now we'll go ahead and talk about the story now. So of course, this is a Final Fantasy game, so everybody's gonna be expecting a good story out of this game. Like, is it good? How are the characters and all that stuff? And I'm gonna go ahead and say that the story is amazing. So you're gonna feel really like engaged in the story and really motivated to do like the story quest. You know, you're not really like, can I get this over with, or like, can we hurry up and just get to the weapons and the fighting and stuff like that. All little cutscenes and stuff like that are really good and cinematic, and very nice cutscenes, and just the storyline in general is really good. So I'll talk about that more in a second. Let's go ahead and just fight these guys, show you guys a little bit of gameplay. I haven't played this game in a while, so not exactly the best at it. But that's the thing too that's really good, is that you don't have to be super good at like Final Fantasy or at all to play this game. Wow. Yeah, I'm already pretty much dead. It's really easy to learn. So that's one of the pluses as well. It's really easy to learn. It's super fun. You feel super powerful once you get, you know, better weapons and certain abilities with your friends. So there's a lot of really good fighting mechanics, which I will talk about as well. We'll save that for the gameplay section. I want to kind of stick to my plan with like the breakdown and stuff. So yeah, the character abilities are really good in this game though. Super unique, super cool looking. Very nice. Okay. So back to the story. Now, as far as like what I'm talking about, I'll try not to spoil too much. Even though I did say there was going to be spoils in this video, I'll try not to spoil it too much, just in case. But anyways, so you start off kind of just pushing your car. This is not the original car that you get, but you start off pushing your car, listening to an amazing cover by Florence and the Machine of Stand By Me. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. And immediately you're like kind of just shown the game's graphical sensations, musical sensations, and all that right away. So really good first impression with the game. And so kind of the whole deal is you are the prince of a kingdom called Lucius, or Luci, or I'm not really sure like exactly what the names is. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not super specifically versed in all of the lore exactly. I just know the main gist of everything. But so basically you're a prince, and so your father, he kind of sends you off to go meet your fiance Luna, who is like off. She's called the Oracle, and she's off kind of doing like her own thing, healing people like off in faraway lands, and just kind of like doing her job. She's kind of like a priestess, kind of, if you will. So basically you go on this journey, and then you find out that like your kingdom is being attacked, your homeland. And so you try to go back afterwards once you find out, but unfortunately, crap goes down, and your father dies, and your kingdom is kind of put to shambles. So now you have to go, and okay, well that's, don't want to fight this thing right now, but all right. So, and your kingdom is kind of like, broken down and stuff like that. So you gotta go and find Luna so that she can kind of give you like your your ring of the Lucia is what it's called, so you can kind of bring back your kingdom and reclaim the throne as you rightfully deserve it. So that's kind of the gist of it. That's a really, really bad explanation. I'm sure there's other YouTube videos and other people who explain a lot better than me. But that's kind of the gist of it. And so yeah, it's really interesting, really engaging. And you also have these 4 characters right here: Noctis, Prompto, Gladio, or Gladiolus is his full name, and Ignis, which journey with you throughout this your entire escapade. And there's certain like missions and stuff like that where they're not with you, but for the most part they are with you like the entire time, which is pretty cool. So you can have, you know, like these team attacks, and there's like always these little dialogue things, you know, when you're walking around just exploring, they say certain things. All right. And it's really interesting. Each character has their own backstory, of course, and no character is at all kind of like uninteresting or forgettable. Definitely all really nice, memorable characters. And they each have their, you know, their own like unique personalities. Like Gladiolus is kind of like the Papa Bear of the group, very protective and very kind and stuff like that. Prompto's like the fun guy and the comedy relief kind of dude. You know, like always wanting to like very energetic, jump around, like go out and have fun, stuff like that. Ignis is the cook, the brains of the group for sure. Always like suggesting when you should do stuff, and you know, be like, if it's dark outside, maybe guys should camp up and get some rest or something like that. So yeah, each character has their own unique personality, very, very interesting, and definitely all memorable characters. And unfortunately, in the base game, there isn't like a lot of content for specifically, you know, these 3 characters, which I would like to have seen more. But luckily, in the DLC, if you got the season pass, or if you want to pay, I think it's like $10 a piece or something like that for a story mode for each of these characters. So far, we have episode Gladiolus and episode Prompto, and episode Ignis is coming soon. I haven't played any of those yet, but I hear that they're really, really good. So I'm glad that they did put those in. All right, so that's kind of the story aspect. I'll go ahead and talk about the combat and gameplay aspect now. So, you know, usually in Final Fantasy games, you have a turn-based system to where, you know, you have a menu of moves, and then you just kind of select a move, and then the character does and stuff like that. In this game, it's completely different. You have a more active, You have a more active combat system to where you can move around, you can engage and disengage in combat whenever you feel like it with, you know, like random enemies in the wilderness and stuff like those enemies over there. I can choose to fight them, or I can choose not to fight them. It's totally up to me. I can go around them. Of course, you know, you got your scripted battles and stuff like that, just like in every game, but it's very, very open combat, which I love about this game, because turn-based combat in other Final Fantasy games wasn't really for me too much. I like the more action-packed, more active combat. I'm not really sure a better way to explain it, but I like to have more active movement with my controller, my character. So I really like the change that they made for this game. So you have a couple of different ways that you can engage your enemies. So of course you have your melee abilities, which with your weapons. You can have 4 different weapons equipped at a time for Noctis, the character that you play. And then each of your companions can each have 1 weapon. So they kind of just do their own thing, but you have like a little, you have a tech bar, which increases when you get hit, I think, and when you do attacks, when you hit other people, the enemies. And it you basically have to do like these little team special abilities and stuff like that, to where you can kind of how it's doing. So I'll go ahead and show you guys a little bit of that. Huh. It's not playing the combat music. I think this guy's too far away from his buddies there. So you have you know, your melee weapons. You have magic little abilities that you can find, like these little. Let's see if I can show you on the map. Yeah, so like things like this, where it says fire deposit, lightning deposit, stuff like that. You can collect that elemental energy to use for magic abilities. There isn't really like too extensive. If you wanted to like be a mage kind of thing, you can't really do that in this game, unfortunately. But you do have, you know, some magic options, which is pretty cool. So you have this thing which is like Noctis's inherited power, which I'm doing right now. It's called warping. So this is probably my favorite part of the combat in this game. It is like this game's staple and Noctis's signature ability, which he inherited from the Luci, or the Luci. So basically, you can like teleport onto like certain areas on trees and on top of rocks, and you can just like aim at an enemy and like throw your sword and dash at them and like whack them with it to like kind of start off, or do like some big damage if you have the right abilities and stuff like that. So it's really cool. I love that warp system in this game. So if I can show it off a little more here. So here is the tech bar again. You can use different abilities. Oh yes, you also have these amazing things here. See if I can, this is perfect actually. I can activate this. There we go. So, you know, of course, Final Fantasy, you gotta have summons. So here's one of the summons. In my opinion, these summon cutscenes are some of the best that I've ever seen in any game. Really badass. Look at that right there. And in an earlier version of the game, before... Oh no, where did the car go? I kind of forgot that the car was kind of like right here. Bye-bye. Did the car get moved or something like that? Or is it just going to respawn? Yeah, it's just going to respawn. But yeah, anyway, so I'm glad that that happened right there. So the summons, unfortunately, you can't use like kind of wherever you want, like charging or anything like that. Kind of like how in the other games you were able to do that, but you still can do them, and it's really cool. The summons are super powerful in this game. So now, of course, we gotta talk about the Regalia, which is your car. So the Regalia has, let's see, 3 different versions now of it that you can get. The original version is just you know, like the normal car. You have limited gas, and it's just the original version that you get at the beginning of the game, and the version that you're going to use throughout most of the main story. I'm not sure if you can get this this version of the car early game or not. This is the Type D, one of the new versions that came in an update. It's like a monster truck kind of deal. You can go off-road and stuff like that. Super cool. Now, thankfully they did make this this Type D, because now you can drive off-road. Before, with the other 2 types of cars, you only could drive on the road, and you kind of like get glued to the road when you drive, which is like kind of disappointing. I wish that was like more freedom, I had more freedom with it. Like you could drive off-road with all the other different cars and stuff, but yeah. So with the original Regalia, you can only drive on the road, and it kind of like glues you to the road. You can't really like drive like into the other lane. You can, but like it's not as it just kind of like forces you back into the other lane once you kind of let go of the steering wheel. Yeah, this Type D is really cool. You can kind of like just run over enemies like I was just doing right there. But yeah, so the other type of car that you can get is called the Type F, and that one is you unlock that one once you beat the main story of the game. So the Type F is really cool. It's like a regular kind of car, but it looks like super fancy, like exotic, even more so than the regular Regalia, which still looks amazing. And it can fly. It can transform into a freaking airplane, like a jet. It looks so awesome. It's definitely my favorite version of the car as far as aesthetics. And you can fly free roam once you get up into the air, which is really cool. Now, the only disappointing part about that for me was that you cannot kind of land the vehicle wherever you want to. You kind of have to like land only on the road, which it makes sense, you know. You have to get back on the road. You can't drive the Type F off-road, which is kind of disappointing. I wish I could just land, you know, on top of like mountains and like right in front of dungeons and just at campsites and stuff like that, so I can have my car right there with me. But yeah, luckily, you know, they made this Type D version, which you can go off-road and do all that stuff. So it's really cool. Now, this is, you know, like I said, the gameplay section. So we've talked about the combat, and we've talked about the driving and stuff like that. Now, we're gonna go ahead and talk about, let's see, so we talked about story, we talked about combat and gameplay, we talked about graphics. So let's talk about fun factor now, which is of course the most important thing, in my opinion, in any game is the fun factor. If it's not fun, then there's no point in playing it. The fun factor is definitely it does not disappoint. It's very fun. It's a very fun game. There's not really a lot of points to where it feels like annoying or unfair or anything like that. It feels pretty balanced. You know, it's difficult at times. You know, I think there is a difficulty setting. Let's see here. Yes, there is a difficulty setting, which is good. Now I haven't tried easy mode. I've been playing on normal this whole time, but so normal is kind of like a normal-ish / hard mode. So if you like try to go to a mission or a dungeon that like is just even slightly above your recommended kind of level, you're gonna get screwed over pretty much, because the enemies are gonna be far too powerful. But yeah, so that's how I like to play it though. I'm glad that's like that. It's a challenging. And the normal difficulty is challenging. So if you're kind of like a seasoned Final Fantasy player, or you're just good at like combat games like this, then I would highly recommend playing on normal mode. I haven't tried easy mode, but I'm thinking that would be kind of too easy and take some of the fun out of it. But yeah, the difficulty setting is good. So yeah, you get to have a bunch of different ways to kind of engage your enemies and kind of roam around the world and do quests at your leisure. Now, of course, there is a few scripted parts of the game where you're kind of like forced into these certain things, but luckily it does not feel linear at all. There's a lot of the game where you're just running around doing whatever the heck you want. So if you kind of like that free roam style of this game and you want it to be as linear, I would highly recommend doing like every single side quest that you can before moving on with the main story, just so that you can enjoy a lot of the free roam stuff, and it'll help you level up to be ready for the main story stuff. But thankfully, after you beat the game, it kind of like brings you into this free roamy kind of setting that I'm in right now, where you can do all the side quests you might have missed, or kind of just continue to roam around the world, do hunts, and kill enemies, and just for fun and stuff like that. So it's a very nice feature. So yeah, this is I'm gonna kind of wrap up the review now. So this is you know, kind of been my first review. There's a lot of other stuff that I could have talked about in this game, but just kind of wanted to keep it short and simple. Don't want to keep you guys here for too long, kind of just hearing me rant. I didn't like kind of plan this out too much, or you know, like take notes and stuff like that, which I probably will in the future to bring better reviews for you guys. But yeah, so this is my first review. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and let me know what you think down about this game. So I'm gonna go ahead and rate these games with a 0 out of 10 rating. So I'm gonna go ahead and rate this game a 9 out of 10. It would be a 10 out of 10 for sure if they were, but there's just like little gripes that I have here and there about the game that I think could be a little bit better. Like the dungeons sometimes can get a little grindy, and they can feel a little extensive and stuff like that. Kind of like, why did they like put this in the game? And just certain parts like are like hidden from you, and of course, that adds to the exploration if you like that, but sometimes I feel like I spend too much time in the dungeons, just like searching for items. So, but again, you know, just little gripes and stuff like that. But it still gets a 9 out of 10 for sure. Wonderful, wonderful game. Definitely pick it up if you haven't already, and I promise that you will not regret it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of my review, and what you guys think I can do to improve. For sure, I always love hearing feedback from you guys. Let me know what you think I can do better for the next review, and what you think of Final Fantasy 15 on PS4. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.